Storm, earth, and fire, heed my call.
What's up everyone, it's Waves and today I got another Mythic Plus commentary for you guys. This one is gonna be a tiny bit different compared to the last ones that I uploaded, since this is actually a 20 key and we played a couple of 20 keys yesterday, and in this one I'm running Elemental Assault again, even though it's a fortified week, but I still feel way more comfortable playing Elemental Assault compared to Hailstorm. I do however have a few keys recorded where I played Hailstorm as well, I think like a 19 and a 20. Which I'm thinking about doing a commentary on those videos as well. So for today it's gonna be a 20 Spires. Now we definitely get into like the real shit when it comes to higher keys. So hopefully you guys are interested, and with that being said, I'd say we just hop right into the video and get it started. We played them yesterday in my stream, so if you're interested in seeing the keys live, or maybe even like raid gameplay and stuff like that, definitely check out my stream over at twitch.tv/waveswow. And yeah, here you can see my talents. I showed them in the beginning as well. Obviously I got Ferris builds running already to get the 6 Maelstrom weapon stacks in the beginning, as always. In the beginning we're doing a really big pull. We're playing pretty much everything except for the last 3 enemies here. And in this situation my job is to single target interrupt the Goliath, right? So to just interrupt the Goliath on my own every single time that he casts, basically. And this will most likely be my job throughout the whole key, to just take care of one Goliath, if there is one in the pack. So you can see we're just destroying this pack. We use Bloodlust, all the cooldowns, we just pump the pack. And Bruno is doing like 32k DPS, I'm doing over 20k DPS. So we're just destroying this first pack. Taking care of the bursting stacks, now onto the next 3 enemies. Obviously we don't have any more cooldowns up, but that's fine. That the first pull already saved us so much time that it's actually worth playing it like this. And yeah, we played it pretty clean. Not gonna lie, we tested it on 21 earlier. The first pull was the biggest fiesta ever on the 21, so we definitely came back into the 20 and did a way better job, which is really nice. So yeah, again, right here, just finishing off this pack. You can already tell that the trash is doing a ton of damage if you don't play it correctly. So what we are trying to do in this key is actually set up really good pulls. Like, take a lot of time to set up the pulls and then execute them correctly in order to save time. Since in higher keys, what I noticed playing with my friends here, you can't just, you know, like pull a pack, kill the pack, go to the next one. That's not how it works anymore, right? In really high keys, you actually have to set up your trash packs and how you want to deal with them. And we will see that in this key and in other keys that I recorded as well. And I will tell you guys about how we managed to do it, basically. And especially after the first boss, you will see one pull that is really interesting. So right here we got another rather spicy pack. Again, I'm dealing with the Goliath. The Shaman 12-second interrupt is enough to just solo interrupt it. So you can always just interrupt it and let the rest of your group basically take care of the other interrupts that have to be done in the pack. So that's what we are just doing right here. Unfortunately our Moonkin died here, which just takes some time for him to run back, but it's not that big of a deal. Like, it doesn't make or break the key in this situation, so it's all good. We still just keep AoEing them down. It's actually quite bad. I switched from stacking nameplates to overlapping nameplates for PvP, since I was testing something out if it would help me in some situations. And I actually forgot to turn it back. So that's why my nameplates are overlapping in this key, which is actually pretty bad in retrospect, but I kind of worked it out, so it's not the end of the world, but I will definitely make sure to fix that for future keys. And again, Goliath, I interrupt the fist here so we don't get wiped. We spawned a Pride during the Goliath, while the Goliath is still alive, basically. And with this group setup, we were typically pretty safe on Prides, right? So we either used Combustion, which the mage is doing right here. So we used Combustion on the Pride, or we used a Convoke on the Pride. Which Convoke we actually didn't really want to use that often on Pride, since Combustion is just ready ready again right afterwards. Like the cooldown is really low, especially with shifting powers and stuff like that from the mage. So we either used combustion, or we just went with the healing, like we used Chain Harvest for it, or even an Ashen Hollow from the Paladin. So we definitely had a lot of tools to deal with the Prides, and it worked out really well for us in this specific group setup, which was really nice. So now we approach the first boss. We don't have Bloodlust, obviously, since we lasted the first pull of the dungeon. We do, however, have Pride, which is really nice. And I also have Wolves, I have Ascendance, I have Doomwinds, and we use everything here. We can cleave onto 2 targets in the beginning, which is awesome. They have a shared health pool. And so yeah, as long as you can keep damage uptime on 1 target, that's fine, but having it on 2 in the beginning is really awesome. Unfortunately, our mage dies here right as he entered his combustion, so his damage is gonna be really, really low throughout the first boss fight, which is definitely not good by any means. But yeah, we still recovered, like it's okay. We just take a bit longer to down the boss, basically. But it's not the end of the world, as I said. So we're just playing this boss normally. Obviously, I want to dodge the barrage of Azuls right here. And whenever Kintara is there, you definitely want to watch out for the frontal, the overheat slash there. That's really important, since pretty much in a 20 key, even though it's fortified and not tyrannical, everything will one-shot you, okay? Every mechanic that you can avoid, but you don't avoid, will one-shot you at this point. If you don't use any defensives, obviously, that is. So definitely gonna be really careful here with the barrage, especially. And just trying to see like how is the tank positioning, in which direction is the boss looking, and then positioning according to that, obviously. So the boss is down to like 10% right here, which is actually pretty good. Still, the mage is doing less damage than our healer, again, since he just lost his damage cooldown there, which was pretty unfortunate. And yeah, the boss would have been dead by now, like there's no question about that, he would have been dead, but we kill him now, which is fine. And we actually move to the left side. And as I said, this is gonna be an interesting pack how we play this, right? So we all stack onto this pillar right here. And you can see the red mark on the bridge, right? So our tank grabs 2 trash packs and comes back to us. And the mage will actually Ring of Frost on the red marker there. And that way, every trash enemy just walks into the Ring of Frost and gets grouped up and stunned up in one place. And then we just grip them all together and burst them down as a group, right? Since these hurls that they do, you can see my health, right? They do a ton of damage. And that's why I astral shifted there, I used a health potion there. And afterwards I stunned, we had the solar beam, we had the silence from the demon hunter. We use everything to interrupt the hurls to go off. And during that, as I said, just cleave down the trash pack and yeah, deal with it. So 3 of them just kind of survived. They had a bit more HP than the other ones, but it's fine. Our mage dies here, unfortunately, since the hurls, I can't stress it enough. On a 20 fortified, these hurls do so much damage that it's actually very scary, which is why I'm trying to line of sight the skirmisher a tiny bit there, since he was just hurling at random people. So I just stepped a bit back onto the bridge and tried to line of sight him so he wouldn't throw the spear at me, basically. And it worked out. The mage is back, and we will continue with the next trash pack. So for this one, again, pretty much same strategy. We just wait down here. The tank gathers all the adds. The mage casts a Ring of Frost on the top of the stairs right there. And yeah, the tank is dropping really, really low in the situation. Like, this was a really close call, but we have to wait here. Like, he has to get them all together grouped up. So all of them are in the Ring of Frost right here. We wait for the last guy, for the Predator. And yeah, all of them are grouped up. And we stun them right here. We use all of our cooldowns, Ascendance, Doomwinds, everything. A big Sunder in there as well. We got the full moon going from the Moonkin. We got Combustion running. This is legit every single offensive cooldown that we have, except for my Wolves, which aren't ready right now. But yeah, and you can see how much damage we're dealing, and still how much HP those enemies have. Like, fortified trash on 20, I can't stress it enough. They have so much health, And our tank has to kite so much, since if they connect to him for 1 second, he's dead. He's straight up dead. So you definitely have to play it really careful. And I gotta say, it's also really interesting to play higher keys. You have such a different like mentality compared to playing lower keys from like 15 or 16 range like that. And playing on a 20, like everything can kill you. Everything is very scary. And that's what makes it interesting in my opinion. And it was a really nice experience to get to play higher keys for once. So yeah, we're dealing with another Pride right now. Actually, I use Doomwinds here, since obviously, as you can see in the top left there, we were in Discord talking to each other. And we were always talking about what cooldowns we want to use on the Pride. And in this situation, I think my mage didn't have combustion since he just used it on the trash pack earlier. So I said I will just use Doomwinds and then we should be fine with that. We don't need to use any other cooldowns. Since basically 1 DPS or healing cooldown is enough to get through the Pride basically. And that was basically our approach to it. That's how we try to do it. So next up, I think we would have wanted Lust here on this pull, but it wasn't ready yet because we were too fast. So we were just waiting a bit, and right here, this is where shit goes down, right? So I'm supposed to interrupt the orange Goliath, right? And the tank is supposed to interrupt, I think, the purple Goliath. And as you can see, his interrupt is on cooldown. But he called that he would interrupt the purple one. And you can see that he didn't. And we end up wiping, which is obviously kind of bad, but it gets worse. This situation gets worse. So you see they are resetting. At least that's what we think they are doing. And we release, we want to get back to the trash pack and we just mount up. And all of a sudden a Goliath snaps down to us, like the orange Goliath, as you can see right there. And we're all confused and we're like, okay, like why is the Goliath here? But then we are like, okay, we take it. Then we only have to play 1 Goliath in the pack upstairs, right? Like it will take us a bit of damage or a bit of time to single target him down. And then all of a sudden, the other enemies snap down as well, which I don't know what's going on. I don't know what this game even is, or this dungeon. Like, that's, yeah. I don't even know what to say. So then we got double Goliaths and the small guy there, which still isn't as much as we would have pulled upstairs, which is kind of okay, I guess. We just split them up unwillingly, I guess. So yeah, that's what we're doing right now. As you can see, the Goliaths have a ton of health. Like on pretty much on every trash pack in a 20 fortified, you need cooldowns. You need any cooldown, no matter from who in your group you use cooldowns. But if you just play, for example, a pack like this, and no one uses anything, you don't use Convoke, you don't use Combustion, you don't use Doomwinds, anything, you will be here for a few minutes, just hitting 2 Goliaths and a Kyrian Dark Praetor there. So yeah, definitely be aware that you have to time your cooldowns and you have to use them. You can't sit on them for too long in a 20 key, which is what I noticed playing these keys. So we finally get the 2 Goliaths down and the other guy. And yeah, we go to the Angel again and we fly over there. And now we will have less trash to deal with on this platform, which is nice. We're already at 8 deaths, which is definitely not great for trying to time a 20 key. I get knocked up there by the Volcanic, but I just charge it mid-air, which I guess saves... Sorry, I got distracted there from the follow and the follow sound. I didn't... yeah, sorry for that. So yeah, I dealt with the situation basically by charging after getting knocked up. I'm actually pretty happy that you don't take damage anymore from Volcanic, which is pretty cool. I also used cooldowns here as the only one of the group. You can see that my damage is pretty high compared to the other guys in the group right now. Obviously, that's always due to who uses cooldowns and who's not. I also didn't mention yet that I was playing Dauntless Duelist in this key actually. In keys before, as I mentioned in the beginning, I was playing Hailstorm and I actually played something really interesting in terms of soulbinds and conduits. So I think I will talk about that more in the dungeon where I actually played the certain soulbind and conduit. But definitely keep an eye out for those videos, since that combination was really interesting to play. In the Spires, I just went with Elemental Salt since I was more confident with it. And in retrospect, I think that it was actually the right decision since I did so much more damage than I think I would have with the other setup that I could have played. So yeah, that's just my opinion though. I guess we have to see whenever I do the commentary on the next few videos. And yeah, we get the next trash done. We are already at 56% trash, which is pretty good. Approaching the second boss rather soon. And are we already where I think we are? Not yet, not yet. There's a very spicy situation coming up in the near future, but it's not happening as of yet. So for now we're just playing this rather small pack. I'm using Doomwinds here. Not really sure if I'm using Wolves. No, I'm saving the Wolves actually, which was probably the right decision since there are more spicy packs coming up. So since our mage is also combusting and the tank is like doing absurd amounts of damage, it wouldn't have really been worth to use more than Doomwinds right here. And we get the third Pride of the dungeon. I don't have Chain Harvest, I don't have Doomwinds, I don't have anything. So let's see what we are about to use here actually. Maybe we just don't use anything. Oh, actually we use the Convoke. As you can see, the Druid is just going ham on the Sprite and doing tons and tons of damage, so we don't use anything else, obviously, since the Pride is already pretty much dead. It's actually crazy how easy Prides are if you use just one cooldown. It's actually crazy. It gets so much easier. Like if you don't use anything, Prides can actually wipe your group, but you can just counter it by using like one assigned cooldown, which is pretty nice. So now we wait again, and you will see this in higher keys multiple times where groups will just stop for a second and wait. And you will think, okay, I mean, this is a really high key, the timer is really tight. Like, what are you waiting around for? And there will be an even better example in a different video that I will make in the near future. But in this one as well, we wait for the patrol to be in the perfect position to do the next pull. And actually, I don't know if we will use Bloodlust on this one. But I think we may actually. I'm not really sure. But we wait for them to be grouped up perfectly. The Demon Hunter leaps in. And again, I'm on the Goliath. Oh, we actually won't Lust here since we got the area effect there. So that pretty much takes care of this trash pack. I'm doing 42k DPS, 47k actually. So we're just destroying this pack completely, okay? Like the mage and me, in this situation, we just blow shit up. Right here, we take a small break. This was really important. We could have wiped here if we didn't pay attention in this situation, right? So a lot of enemies died right here, and we extended from 3 bursting stacks to 6, as you can see here on our HP bars. And the Goliath is about to die, right? He has 53k HP. So if we extend this bursting stack, we wipe 100%. So in this situation, we definitely want to stop the damage. And I actually start casting healing surges on me. Since the Goliath is down to 5%, we still have another second of the bursting stacks. And I cast a healing surge, and then the stacks fall off, and then we just continue. So really, really important to pay attention to the bursting stacks. Since in general, it is a really easy affix. But you definitely still have to pay attention to it. Like, if you just ignore it the whole dungeon, this can actually deplete your key. So be aware of that and just play around it, and then you will be fine. So yeah, definitely some big damage being dealt in the last pack. So now without cooldowns, there will be a bit of a slower pack. Again, 2 targets only, not really that great in terms of dealing damage. I will definitely use my Doomwinds here though, since I know that those 2 enemies will take a long time to kill, even if I use Doomwinds. So I for sure have to do it right here. I'm not really sure if the other DPS are using anything, to be honest. It doesn't seem like it right now. Like the mage definitely isn't combusting right here. And I don't think that the Moonkin is convoking either. So pretty much just slowly getting those 2 enemies down. It's also really annoying that they jump around all the time. Like for the big guy, at least you can see where he's jumping towards. But with the small guy, he's just jumping all over the place. Especially as a melee, it's really annoying. Like as a range, you don't really care, you know. Maybe if he outranges you with his jump, then yes, but in general, it's not really that big of a deal if you're a ranged class. So for enhancement, pretty annoying, but you know, you deal with it. It just takes some time. And this is the pack that I was talking about. This will be a really good example of how something can go horribly wrong, but you can still manage to do it, right? So definitely pay close attention on this trash pack, since it's a really good presentation of what I just said. So we're CCing here, right? We got a lot of enemies. We got 5 enemies in this pack. So we sheep 1 right there. What else do we have? We got 1 sheeped. We're thinking about hexing as well, but I can only hex the guy in the back, like the champion, because he's a humanoid. So we cage the Ether Diver here, and I think we just pull purple as well. And we root Skull as well there. So we got 3 ads CC'd. So we can basically just play those 2 on their own, which is what we're doing right now. I'm using Wolf's Doomwinds here, since obviously the boss is coming up pretty soon, where we want to lust, so I want to have everything ready there. But I know that we still have a really difficult trash pack and the Pride afterwards, so it's fine for me to use cooldowns here, since in those trash packs you definitely have to use cooldowns. You won't kill those trash packs if you don't use cooldowns. So we're just about to get those 2 down here. And we're still looking pretty good in terms of our health. Everything looks fine. We still have the CC on all of the other mobs. And then, all of a sudden, our healer dies. I almost die, but I managed to survive here. And we res up the healer. And again, we drop really low. There's a lot of damage coming in. Since the guy from the back, you can see it right here, this projectile, he's shooting us all the time. He's just shooting us. And we can't really do anything against it at the moment before we kill those 2 guys. So now we get them down and we get 2 bursting stacks, but he still continues to shoot us, right? So if I continue here, the healer dies again and we're not looking pretty good. We got 3 trash mobs here with full HP on a 20 fortified, right? And our tank is really low. So in this situation we think about, should we tell Nami to release and walk back? But the walk back is really long. So I say to our tank, I can keep you alive, we can continue. And the tank says to Nami that that she shouldn't release, right? That we can actually play this pack and we will save time if we finish it and I res her up and we continue then, right? So then we think, okay, but if we kill those 3, there will be a pride. So I wouldn't be able to rest the healer, right? So we talk about the battle rest, and I think in this situation, like the battle rest timer is still like 40 seconds or something like that. So the thing is that we can kill those 3, and by the time that we kill the pack, the battle rest will be off cooldown, and we will battle rest the healer, and then do the pride into the boss. That is the plan. So in this situation, I have to do a ton of damage so we can actually get the pack down, and me and our Moonkin, we have to pay close attention to keeping the healer and us alive. And that's what we're gonna do right here. So as you can see, in the beginning I'm still thinking about what we want to do and we were talking about it. And now I just try to get stacks. Right here I use a healing surge on the tank. I interrupt the Inquisitor here. I heal the tank again. Actually hard casting. I put a healing stream totem down. I think I'm gonna use Doomwinds in a second as well. Again, I got more stacks. I think I'm gonna heal him again here at some point. Yeah, right here I target him again. I get a big healing surge in, which was really nice. And we kill the first guy, so only 2 trash mobs left. And then we trigger Pride. And this is not good, right? Like the situation is shitty already, but we had to kill them at the same time and then trigger Pride, since this is just fucked up right now. So in this situation we again got 2 of the bursting stacks, we got a Pride spawning, and we got the skull Ed still up, which is really dangerous. But I think at this point, the battle rest should be up again. I heal the tank here again, and it seems like the battle rest isn't up. So the Moonkin actually does a healing convoke, which is really nice. And I throw out some more healing surges. We kill the last guy off, we're on the Pride. And there we get the battle rest on the healer. And we should be fine here with the Ashen Hollow. Ashen Hollow drops down, everyone gets topped, and we got the damage rolling for the Pride, which is really nice. I get sniped there by the Pride thingy, but it's okay since Ashen Hollow is still down. And we handle the situation. This could deplete the key at any second. Like this trash pull could have depleted this key so easily. But the way we handled it was actually crazy in my opinion. I also threw out a Chain Harvest there to top off the group again, since we don't really need it for the boss. And with that, we got all the cooldowns ready, we got the Pride buff running, we got Bloodlust, and we can just start nuking the second boss. And recovering from that horrible situation that we were in on the last pack, going into the next boss, that just gives you a momentum that it's incredible. Like, I felt so good in this situation, having handled this situation the way we did, that I was pretty sure that we can still time this key. Like, we got 10 deaths already. There was like enemies snapping to us after wiping. There were like, I don't know what else going on in this key. And we're still on track, so definitely really good going forward from this point right here. And the boss is just melting. Obviously, you can see we're dealing a ton of damage to him. We still got the Pride buff running right now. He's in the phase right now where you just have to dodge a lot of shit, like even more than in the normal phase. But he's already down to like 14%, so he's gonna die in a second. And if this boss dies, there's a small little trick that you can do with the angel if you didn't know that. Like when the angel flies towards the edge of the room, you can spam click it while it's flying past you, and it will actually grab you and start you flying over earlier, which is what I'm gonna do right here. So the boss dies, and you can see the angel is coming flying towards me, and I spam click it right here, and it instantly grabs me and starts flying me over, which is really nice. And yeah, now we got some time to relax and think about what we want to do, right? We got 82% trash. We still got 16 minutes left, which should be enough. We pretty much don't have to do any more trash, or not a lot actually. Instead, except for the 3 trash mobs before the last boss. And they are really spicy, even on lower keys. But on a 20, it's definitely something else. So we're already like planning. We're already like planning for the cooldowns and what else we want to use on those 3 last trash mobs there. And right here, you can pretty much skip all of this trash, but in this situation we decided to play the first one, like the Helion right here, just to make sure that we don't pull him by accident. And there were like multiple ways we could have played the rest of the trash. Like we could have skipped all of this right here and do a bit more trash later, but we actually decided to just play him and take the safe route here, which I think was actually the right decision to do. So even though it's only one enemy and it takes a bit to get him down, I think actually the mage used combustion here just to get him down a bit quicker basically. So we get him down. Now we want to skip the rest of the trash. I get stuck here on the torch for a second, so I just take it slow and walk around there. And now we just skip all of this, walk over here. Here you can use your Door of Shadows if you're Venthyr to just port up there and skip this trash. And then we mount up. And I think here we want to invis through the next trash, I'm pretty sure. So everyone's through already. I go into Ghost Wolf. I use my invis potion. I know it's really bright. Like this dungeon is bright already, but during an invis potion it's even more bright. So sorry if I hurt your eyes with this situation right here. And then we want to stack behind the pillar. And the reason for stacking behind the pillar is these guys do the hurls again, right? So if you just drag them and you're in line of sight of them and they just hurl all the same target at the same time, you're just dead. There's nothing you can do against it. And so we just AoE stun them here and try to basically just AoE them down, interrupt as many hurls as you can. and obviously pay attention to the bursting stacks a bit, which we did a really bad job actually. I think Bruno was actually trolling and extended to 6 stacks there on purpose, but still we got it done. And on this third boss, you definitely want to hold your big cooldowns for the damage phase, but you can use a Doom Winds in the beginning, which is what I'm doing right here. You can see me, I'm only using Doom Winds, nothing else, no Wolves, no Ascendance, since there will be a phase where the boss takes increased damage, and that's the phase where you definitely want your Wolves and your Ascendants, pretty much everything that you can do in terms of damage you want in that phase. The damage that you do before the phase is pretty much irrelevant, so just using a Doom Winds here since I know it will be ready again. And yeah, so obviously you want to stack with the one mechanic where you place the zones on the ground. This one that you can see right here, you want to stack those up. So once they spawn the orbs that move to the boss in the phase afterwards. It's easier to soak them since they will all be grouped up, and especially with immunity soakings, it will be a lot easier if you just group them up in the beginning. So right here we're still just pretty much hitting the boss like a tiny bit, not really doing that much damage since everyone's just holding their stuff. The druid almost dies here, it was actually really close. He had to bear form and survival instincts to survive that actually. And yeah, he did survive it, luckily. So we're about to enter the damage phase. He's at 67%, and I use Wolves, I use Ascendance, I hop into Doom Winds, and we're just blasting as hard as we can. And you can see the damage that the boss is taking, right? This is exactly the reason why you want to save everything for this moment, because he takes a ton of damage. We also got Ashen Hollow down, we got Combustion, we got Convoke. That's everything that we have, throwing it onto the boss. And we get him down to 20%, which is okay. Still some HP left that we have to deal with outside of the phase, but the boss is pretty much dead at this point, right? I get the Purifying Blast here, so I Astral Shifted. It actually does a ton of damage a dot afterwards, and as an Enhancement Shaman, you're obviously very vulnerable, so definitely use your Astral Shift on that one, since you can't really avoid it. And yeah, we just place the zones there, like wherever we want. It doesn't really matter anymore, since we won't come into the soaking phase again. And right here the boss gets down to 3%, 2%, and we're about to kill him. And now we just have to do one more pack downstairs, which is gonna be another set of those usurpers that do the hurls, basically. And we put the Ring of Frost down here to the right side, but some of them just randomly decide to go to the left, which is kinda weird. And actually a lot of them went to the left side. So we get the Blinding Light, we get a Hodge, we get a Dragon's Breath, we get a Capstun. Like, we got a lot of AoE CC to deal with those, so it's not that big of a deal. I also got a Sunder here to interrupt them again and do some damage. And we do a pretty good job dealing with it. Again, we get the full 6 stacks here. So I throw out the Healing Surge at some point, I think. Yeah, right there. There was the Healing Surge. And we fly up to the last boss. And you may think, we got 10 minutes, so this should be easy to bring home, right? You have to remember though, those last 3 enemies on a 20 fortified are actually crazy. Like, straight up. If you don't play them perfectly, you can easily wipe there. I think it's one of the hardest parts of the dungeon, especially since on this top platform, like my mage, like the mage that plays with me in this group, he rages about it all the time. In this camera angle, sometimes you can see the wings of those angels, and they sometimes just block off your whole screen and you don't see anything anymore, right? So it's really, really annoying to deal with them. So on this first one, I used Wolves and I used Doom Winds just to get some damage rolling. We also got Combustion. Mages are really overpowered for those last 3 trash mobs here, since they got Combustion for every single one, which is really, really strong. And for the first one, I guess we take a bit longer right here, since I only used Wolves Doom Winds, we got Combust. The Moonkin isn't really using anything, since we don't want to overuse our cooldowns. We obviously have to spread them up a bit onto the 3 enemies, which is what we are trying to do here. And the first one is not really that hard, obviously, since he doesn't really have that many mechanics, which is why he's already down at 4% right here. and we're about to get him down. And then we're gonna pull the next one. And the next one is gonna be a bit more difficult, since he will throw the spares on the ground that do like the pulsing stuff. And I don't have to mention it at this point anymore probably, but it one-shots you. Everything one-shots you at this point. And that's why I use Ascendance and Doomwinds here. I want to kill him as quickly as possible. I know that we have something in store for the last one. And we will also Bloodlust the last one, so we don't Bloodlust the last boss, since the last boss is actually kind of a joke. But rather the third ad right here is where we want to use Bloodlust. And right there I didn't see the crescendo, unfortunately, and as you can see, 44k, that's a straight one-shot, there's nothing I can do. So it's not that bad, since you can just release and fly up with the angel again. Obviously, still not good that I died there. But it could have been way worse, like if I had a really long walk back to my group. I mean, to be fair, flying upstairs with this angel does take a while and is definitely a huge time loss. But as long as they don't wipe due to my damage missing on the ad upstairs, we're pretty much fine. And they get it down right here, as you can see. And now it's only one left. We got 7 minutes still. So it's looking pretty promising right here, but we're still not out of the woods yet, so I rune up again here to make sure to get the most out of my character, basically. And we pull the last of them. We also put the ground effect down to stun him, and so that he takes some more damage. We get the combustion going. I use Wolf's Doomwinds again. I know the boss is coming up, but we also will get a Pride before the last boss. So in this situation, again, I think it's worth to use Wolves and Doomwinds, since we have to kill this guy really, really quickly. Don't get me wrong. Like, we killed it really quickly. Our Moonkin dies here, actually. And we killed it really quickly, and still, look at the damage going into our group, right? And he hasn't been alive for a long time. We don't have that many stacks, and we still took that much damage. So if we took a lot longer to kill that right there, we could have definitely wiped. So definitely always pay attention and plan your routes according to where you need the damage and where the actual difficult parts of the dungeon are. So on this Pride, we just use Ashen Hollow. We pretty much don't want to use anything else. I actually don't think that I will use Doomwinds, but I don't know exactly. I don't think that it's necessary in this situation, since Ashen Hollow, as I said, Ashen Hollow works as an offensive and defensive cooldown, basically. So having that down, we don't really want to use anything else, since the boss is coming up. We got 5.5 minutes left, and it's looking pretty promising that we can still do it, but don't underestimate the last boss. Even though it's kind of a joke, he can be quite difficult, especially in our situation, since there's a small little trick that you can do. Like, whenever the angels fall down and the spears of them are still in the air, you can jump off of the platform, grab a spear, and then just hit the boss by it, and basically skip some phases with it, since he will instantly spawn the orbs. Which we try to do on this boss fight, and you're gonna see how it didn't work out for us the way that we wanted it to. A really big point on this boss though, on this run through, the damage that he will do with the run through actually happens before the actual boss is in the in the position, right? Like, if you stand over here and he charges towards you, you will get the damage before he even reaches you. So definitely pay attention to that, since I think our Moonkin actually got hit multiple times by that during the fight. And also pay close attention to the AoE that he sometimes does, that you are in the safe zone, in the blue circle on the ground, basically, to avoid that. So right here, I think we actually overlapped it here, since we got more orbs than we typically would, since we did the first spear. I can't even explain to you how exactly it went down in this try, since it was so scuffed with the timings. Like, we faced him too early, and then we got 2 spears, and it's just a big mess. So right here we got 4 stacks, or at least I got 4 stacks. So I Astral Shift and I use a healing potion here to not die. The mage also gets really close to dying, which obviously if we died in this situation, this would be really, really bad. And there's another Abyssal Detonation coming up, which you want to make sure to be in that. And on this one, it's actually rather close. You can see our Moonkin over here. He's shapeshifted right now, since he was trying to do something over here. And he just has to run back, and he just makes it in right before the explosion goes off. So that was a really close call. And the boss is down to 44%. We're again trying to do the cheesing with the spear. I think our mage is trying it this time again. So we actually don't want to do that much damage here, since we don't want to face him beforehand. And right here we got another detonation, so we go in. The mage almost died there, which would have been really bad. And he hit the spear, so the phase didn't start yet, as you can see. Like, he didn't activate the thing in the middle with the winds, but we still got orbs, right? So we can hand in the orbs right now and get a spear to hit him and basically skip the phase by that. So we hand in the orbs, but then again something goes wrong, since first of all there's one orb in the top corner there, as you can see. The demon hunter is just grabbing it right now, and our healer actually has an orb in his hands, which she didn't recognize. Like right here you can see it. She has an orb in her hands, but she's not handing it in because she didn't realize that she had it. And our Moonkin dies as well. And we got 2.5 minutes left. So if we wipe at this point, the key is depleted, like 100%. So she wants to go hand it in now, since she realized. And she was like, can you stay alive? So I told her, yes, I'm safe. So that she could stop healing me, but instead hand in the orb. So I used the healing surge on there, on me there. So I stayed alive. And we all get into the blue circle to avoid the explosion. We drop really low again. I'm healing here again. Healing stream is down. We just want to stay alive at this point, right? We want to face the boss. And we get the battle res onto the druid. Actually, it was this situation where she told me if I would be fine. Since in this situation, our healer was the only one that had a battle res, like an engineering battle res. So she had to battle res the druid. And I would have to heal in that situation, right? That's why I put down the healing stream. That's why I healed with some healing surges and stabilized the group. So you just need to have that interaction, and you actually need to do everything that your class is capable of in some situations to deal with difficult situations, which one of them you've just seen right there. So just a typical phase again. We get the cheesy spear there again, so we don't really have to deal with the orbs. And we have him in the last phase now. Again, this is a mess. This last boss is actually a mess. I can't stress it enough. During this key, I didn't even know what was going on. It was so confusing since the timers were so scuffed. And so as it's the last phase, I use Ascendance, Wolves, Doomwinds, everything. We hide from the detonation there again. We almost only got 1 minute left, so it's getting really close. But the boss is already at 7%. We get some more run-throughs. Obviously, we still want to not just chase the boss around, but pay attention to the detonation that is going off again. Since dying to this at this point would actually be really sad. So we're sub 1 minute on the timer. It's really, really close. But we get the kill right here, and we time the key. You can see the overall damage. I actually almost did as much as the Fire Mage, so I guess I carried my weight in this dungeon. I'm pretty happy with that, actually. I'm not really sure. I don't think that I will show my breakdown in this video, unfortunately. But you should be pretty used to how an Elemental Assault dungeon breakdown looks like. This was one of the first 20 keys that I played, and it was really interesting. It actually gave me some motivation back to play some more Mythic Plus. Also, like the commentaries that I've done the past few days actually brought me some motivation back to play some more keys and actually try to reach for those higher keys instead of only doing like 15s for the weekly. So as I said, I got some more, like a 20 and a 19 key, I think. That if you guys are interested, I will definitely make them into a Mythic Plus commentary as well for you guys. And I hope I will play some more keys as well during the rest of the week. I'm still pretty busy with university, but I try to get as many keys done as I can. And as long as the group wants to play with me, obviously. So if you like the videos, be sure to leave me some feedback so that I know how you like them. And with that being said, I hope to see you guys in the next video or in the next live stream. Take care and stay healthy. Peace.